so that they can watch too. So hey, Blizzard 370, nice to see you. The recovery is going. It is definitely going. I was still pretty achy today, and I can feel it in I can feel I feel it in my jowls still, you know. So that's how the recovery is going. It is going. All right. Looks like we're up and running over here on YouTube now too. Good. I don't know what the deal is. I think they changed the stream key on me. So the problem with the problem, I hate to say the problem, but the difficulty that I'm having with recovery is they have like this whole routine of wound care, right? So swish with salt water, and then I gotta like stick a syringe with a little nozzle into the wounds where my teeth used to be to flush those out. And they want me to do that like 6 times a day with salt water. Like, how am I supposed to do that, you know? So we got a ad about to start in 4 minutes here, so I hope I can. Had the same thing last Monday, so I get it. Yeah, sucked first couple of days. Yeah, well, I had mine on Friday, and and I tell you what, it is it's not fun. It is definitely not fun. But I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, they gave me 600 milligram ibuprofen, and but the thing that they didn't do is they didn't prescribe me. Sorry, they didn't prescribe me antibiotics. Last time I went into the dentist for a big, I had a root canal a while back. Not because I wasn't taking care of my teeth, but just because I had a tooth go bad and the nerve finally died, and you know that leads to infection. So I had that, and they gave me, full spectrum, uh, full spectrum antibiotic, but they didn't assign me an antibiotic uh, on this one, which is a little concerning. But I mean, I was a little swollen and a little red all the way through yesterday, and I think I had a little bit of fever because my face felt really hot for a little bit. Yeah, they sure didn't. Well, you only had your bottom tooth, so you did get lucky. I got all four of them out, so um, it's gonna make flossing easier, I guess. Get behind the rear ones easier, but yeah, they didn't give me any sort of uh, they just gave me a wound care routine, and I've got a mouthwash that's like a heavy duty mouthwash, but I didn't get no antibiotic. So that was a little weird when I looked at my stuff. Of course, when I came up out of the anesthetic, I was like I was just I saw everything they had of me, everything, and explained it to me, and I understood well enough. But like, I was just kind of in that place where there were things I knew I needed to ask, but I couldn't ask, like I couldn't form it. It's like when I had a car wreck some years ago. I flipped over and I crawled out, and the only thing I could think of was don't crawl into traffic, and I couldn't remember all of like I couldn't remember it in words. I couldn't form the words in my head, but I could think of it. The right side is basically back to normal, but having a little trouble with my left side. Yeah, they said that can happen. I haven't really had much trouble, but I started brushing a little bit the last couple of days, and I'm still like every time I knock back into there, I'm getting some blood out, and it's just what happens, you know. But they say they want me to keep doing all this like saltwater rinse stuff, for like the next 3 weeks, 6 times a day. I don't have time for that. I work. I work in places where I don't have access to that kind of warm water and salt. So, but I haven't had any real trouble like one side or the other. I guess it's all the same. So I don't really have like anything to compare because I got all four of them out. So I guess it's like an X-wing. I've got all four wings getting hit all at once. So, but use the syringe after eating. Yeah, um, they said to not use a syringe until yesterday. So I started with the syringe yesterday. No, today. Today was Tuesday. Yesterday or today? Yesterday, I think. So yesterday I did it once after eating, but I just can't find the holes. I just stick it in there and I'm like, maybe that's it, maybe that's not it. So I don't know. It's just very odd. Day 4 was syringe for you. Yeah. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. So yesterday is when I started using the syringe. So, but I always thought that they just chopped your teeth out and then like sewed the wound up. Sewed your gums together right there. That's kind of what I used to think, but evidently they go in and they chop them out and they leave the socket behind, and so then you have to deal with that socket being there and closing up on its own. So that was very odd. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to make this base out here look like cold Arctic water, maybe. Maybe he's on an ice floe or something. So I used a little bit of dark. I did work on this a little bit the other day when I had some time, because I had some time to kill as I took some time off from work. So I went with a dark blue to a light blue to a little bit of turquoise and white right there, just to kind of give it that idea of maybe he's on a little icy shelf there, a little glacier. You know, that's kind of the plan right there. And ice, as it gets deeper, it gets darker. So you're going to have darker towards the lower part of ice, and lighter, those turquoises and light blues, towards the top, and blend it out towards the top with the grays and the whites. Try to make it feel frosty. Had the exact same. Yeah, a minute 30 of ads. Yep, it's 3 minutes per hour, so 2 minute and 30-second breaks every half hour. Gives everybody a chance to get a drink of water or stretch their legs. It is inconvenient though for when I'm talking, because I know that it's coming sometimes and I forget. I know there's a couple of streamers that do really good at keeping a timer on that. I am not one of them, unfortunately. And it is a bit rude to the audience for me to keep talking while the ad is going because they miss something. Of course, you can always go sneak over to YouTube and check that out and reel it back a few seconds. There's that. But the ads do help support the channel, and of course, if you have your Prime account, you can actually support the channel for free on a month-by-month basis. So that's a way to get a subscription to the channel is use your Amazon Prime account. And when you subscribe, you become eligible for one of the monthly monsters. So, this monthly monster will be given away to one lucky subscriber. Fortunate subscriber? Lucky? I don't know. Some people don't like the word luck. You can say chance, but it means the same thing. So, use it in the right areas. Just end up winging it half the time. Yeah. I mentioned it so I didn't miss the story. Right. Understandable. Yeah, I tend to just I see the warning come up, but I just kind of get carried away, and I've got it where it's supposed to let me know, well, in 5 minutes I've got an ad coming up, but then I forget and I get carried away with what's going on. Surgery got amoxicillin, hydrocodone, and ibuprofen. Well, they gave me ibuprofen, but they didn't give me a hydrocodone. But I didn't end up using the hydrocodone because I don't want to have issues with. Yeah, understandable. That's some pretty nasty stuff. I'd stay away from it too myself. When I was a kid, I don't know if you can see here, but I was working on a model airplane, and I was 8 or 9, and I figured, well, I found these razor blades. I'll use those and do some modification on this model. Well, you know how that goes. Never had it before, so I took 2 day and one, and then stopped afterwards. Yeah, probably knocked you out. So anyway, when I was a kid, I cut my finger really bad right here. I still have the scar. I don't know if you can see it or not, but cut it with a razor blade. I was working on a model airplane, as you did back in the 80s, because in the 80s we didn't have internet, we didn't have 24-hour TV. So I found a pack of regular straight blade razor blades, and so I figured I'd use it while I was working on my airplane model. And I got myself pretty good. So we went to the emergency room, they stitched me up, and I got, here's a 9-year-old on codeine. I was loopy as all get out. So anything with codeine in it is that's one of those ones that can make you feel real good, but you feel real bad about feeling good, because it just makes you a slug. Kind of, it's like Benadryl. I used to take Benadryl for my allergies when I was a kid, and my dad thought I was just a dopey teenager, just sleeping all the time. But a few years ago, he had allergies, and the only thing they had in the house, he had an allergic reaction to something. As you do maybe when you move into a new place, and they moved down south to a place that had a lot of flora and fauna that we don't have up here. But I have some fauna right here making a pest of himself. Hello, fauna. Hello, beast. Hello, beast. How are you? Huh? You want to put your face in the glue in the paint? You almost got it. You almost got a face full of paint last week. So, he all they had in the house was Benadryl. It was an old pack of Benadryl, so he took some. And he called me up a few days later. He says, "You don't still take Benadryl, do you?" I said, No, I found better things to take that don't make me drowsy. He's like, that stuff's horrible. He says, it knocked me out, and I was out for like 2 hours. I took it, and then it hit me hard. He says, I said, yeah, and you thought I was just being a dopey teenage kid, not just sleeping the days away. I said, yeah, that stuff is pretty awful. I said, when I found, Claritin, or I may be switching over to Allegra because Claritin just doesn't do it for me anymore. But when I found Claritin, non-drowsy and everything, man, I switched over to that as quick as I could because I was done with Benadryl at that point. So, all right, can I paint now, sir? Can I paint now, please? Does it meet with your approval? Huh? I know it was my fault. I left the door open, but you barged in here when I came in last, and my hands were full. So I let you until you started getting up here. So I need to paint. Okay, Mr. Pumpkin. Okay, buddy boy. I need to paint. Take Claritin here and there, but I don't notice much. Yeah, it takes a couple of days for it to really work through my system when I have allergies when I use it. So I usually try to take it a little bit early when I know it's going to be hitting allergy season, but sometimes I still get hit pretty hard. Hay fever is a big thing around here. Ragweed. So, and of course, Pumpkin is he's like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to lick your hand, he says. Please don't kick me out, he says. I'm going to be cute. So, but another thing you can do if you want to help support the channel, you can look at w.gg and use my code ROCKETFUEL, ROKKITFUEL, for your purchase of an energy drink that is sugar-free and doesn't have a crash, or at least not for me. I can say I have a couple of tubs of it. I enjoy it. Good tasting. Don't use it quite so much now that the weather's gotten cold, but when it's too hot for coffee and I need a quick pick-me-up, and it doesn't give me the jitters. So check out w.gg and use my code ROCKETFUEL, ROKKITFUEL, for 10% off your order. All right, so that's my spiel. That's my, that's my sponsor. Not that I'm really big enough to have an effective sponsor or really be effective in use of a sponsor, but there you have it. All right, Mr. Pumpkin. Can I paint something tonight, please? You're kind of, and I can't have you on my lap and paint. We've tried it before. You're just too big. You don't fit under the desk. No, you can't play with that stuff. It's sharp. You will hurt yourself. All right. Out you go, kitty cat. Now, yes, you protest too much, sir. All right. Oh, gosh. Okay, now we can paint. Actually getting let's see, browse your Twitter. How was Thanksgiving? I'm a bit of a tank fan myself. I'm getting a Tiger 1 painted by Ricky. Nice. My Thanksgiving was quite good. Of course, you may have seen my Matilda 2 that I painted, so I got that done. I don't have any decals for it because I got that in a lot secondhand at Historicon. So, I mean, it was fine. It was great. So I was able to mostly build my elephant. So the elephant is the only thing that I have lacking on the elephant is putting on the treads. But the treads are like vinyl strips. So to get them to line up with the gears on the drive wheels and the liner up wheels in the back, I gotta do some fiddling around with them. The second one, a Ferdinand. No, this is just the elephant. It was the one like 1943. It was designed by Porsche. Has the Maybach engine in it. Um, I think the Ferdinand. I mean, it might be the Ferdinand. I think the Ferdinand. The difference between the Ferdinand and the Elephant, I think, was the Ferdinand had an open gun deck, and the Elephant had a closed gun deck. So this had the closed gun deck. So it was definitely an Elephant. So I think the Ferdinand was the Ferdinand earlier, maybe 42. I know it had. I think it too used the 88, but I'm not sure. But the I did so I painted the Matilda that I built last year. So last year I painted a Mark IV, which I had built for quite a while and I hadn't gotten around to painting it. So I painted the Mark IV. I built the Matilda last year. This year I painted the Matilda. I think I also built a 1/100 scale um, Panzer III with Surzan on it. So I think I put that together because that was like a quick. That was like a quick. I think that was a Zvezda 1/100 scale. So that was a quick one. And then let's see. I did a drawing. So I gave away the World of Tanks platoon, the British platoon with the Comet, the Churchill, and the I don't remember. It was an anti-tank gun. Self-propelled anti-tank gun. So let's see. World of Tanks is my knowledge is minimal, but I still have fun learning. Yeah, actually, I'm a big fan of World of Tanks. If I had a better computer, I would probably play it online or here on stream because I'm sure that a lot of people would really like to see that. But um, I tricked out my Matilda years ago, and that is kind of my ride that I really enjoy. Of course, they nerfed it every time they do something. They'll improve one set of tanks and then they'll nerf another set of tanks. So, but they've nerfed my Matilda a couple of times. I still like playing it. It's slow and it shoots pretty fast. I've got it set up so it shoots pretty quickly. And that 2 pound gun of it used to just wreak havoc. But it's not quite the it's not quite the shooter that it once was. So, but it is what it is, you know. Top tanks of the USSR IS-3 and the Swedish UDES 14.5. Yeah, yeah. The IS-3. Well, you know, it's a Russian company makes that game, so they do tend to like their Russian tanks. They tend to punch them up just a little bit more in power, understandably so. Um, but the Swedish tanks are always pretty good too. I mean, they're just solid tanks. Yeah, I think they do have a Russian bias, quite honestly. But when all that kerfuffle started over there, I think the World of Tanks team, I think they moved all their operations over to. I think they moved everything out to Sweden, quite honestly. So this is Griffin blue. It's a little bit of a more of a grayish blue. So I'm going to move that into this Army Painter deep blue and lighten that up just a little bit. And we're just kind of trying to get a watery look here. I'm not really going too crazy with it. And then when we're done here, I'll do a little gloss. Do a little gloss on it. So, and maybe a little bit of that gray, maybe a little white. Let's see. Sure, they have the largest tech tree too. Yes. Yes, they do. The British actually had, during World War II, the British actually had excellent tanks. I mean, the Matilda II only became the Matilda II because the Matilda I didn't have a big enough gun at the time. But it could, the Matilda I could tank anything that anybody was putting out at the time. So it was definitely definitely the improvement with the Matilda II for the for the gun, and it was still able to tank shots from the Panzer II. Panzer III even had a hard time with it. You know, Matilda was actually doing really great in the desert. The only problem is the British doctrine for tanks was for for infantry support. Well, everything was moving slow, so they needed something faster, and so that's of course they had the Lees and the Grants, you know, on Lend Lease. They brought those in from the states, and then of course they got the Shermans a little bit later on, and of course the British said, well, these Shermans are a little undergunned, so then they put the Firefly, the big gun, the 17-pounder on it, and wrecked face with that. But the only problem was, I think it affected some of its load reload time because the gun breech was so big. So in the game, near impossible to get from the front or sides area. Yeah, to get the fronts. Yeah, get from the fronts or sides and areas of the back. It's near impossible. Oh yeah, yep. So just trying to make this look like an ice flow. Make this look like some cold water here. Put a little crusting on here. Use this gray, and we'll top it off with a little white. Didn't notice the Matilda is really hard to hit in the game as well. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. I was trying to parse what you were saying. Usually I can figure it out, but yes, the Matilda is really hard to hit in the game. Um, the last time I played World of Tanks was a couple of years ago, I think. Actually, I haven't played it since I started streaming. uh, if that tells you anything, so that's 3 years ago now. So, but I used to be able to bounce a lot of shots. It was real bouncy, but I was starting to get really taken out. With it. And I play on PC. I don't play on console. Even though I know it is available on console, I don't have a console. I'm pretty much stuck on PC world here. So just kind of doing just a little bit, just to kind of get some ideas that there's some tops of waves going on here. Very impressionistic, if you will. I'll let it blend even a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll look all right in the end. I didn't see a lot of the player base says it's gone downhill a lot. I just in the last year started playing on PC, so I joined at a bad time, I guess. Possibly, possibly. Like I said, I haven't. Oh, ad break. Here we go. All right. So community, back from the ad break. So you were saying a lot of player base says it's gone downhill a lot just in the last year. Started playing on PC, so I joined at a bad time, I guess. It's possible. Of course, you got to remember the two things that gamers hate is things that don't change and things that do change. So, I mean, it could be that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just it just depends on what you're. A lot of times, a lot of that kind of thing depends on what you're looking for in a game too. You know, I mean, me, I'm just a filthy casual when it comes to a game like that. I get what I get the game experience that I want out of it. I guess. So I try not to get too worked up about it. And now, if it's something that I've been playing and it doesn't work the way I was used to, I do get a little bit miffed. But I get over it. I'm like, well, they've played with it, they've changed it. Today it's changed this way, and tomorrow it'll change back again the other way. Though, a ship doesn't necessarily. Ships, believe it or not, do not steer necessarily straight courses. So anytime there's changes, it's going to steer back the other way eventually. Felt like Sludge Fest, so I stopped more recently. Yeah, I mean, if you're just grinding and grinding and grinding and not making any progress, I was making really good progress with the game until I had one evening. I had one evening where I was in 10 matches in a row with no wins at all. I was doing everything I was supposed to doing. I was where I was supposed to be on the map. I was playing the game to my strengths. But for whatever reason, I just got lumped in with, it just it, the matching algorithm. It just kind of puts you into a death spiral where you wind up not being able to play with people that bring you up. You wind up starting to play with people that bring you down. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't call them bad players because I don't know any of them personally. It's just people that hard to maybe don't know how to cooperate the best. So, I mean, there were things that I would try to suggest to people. Like one of the things that always drove me nuts was, let's see, I've got a couple of models here. They're not tanks exactly. They are tanks, but they're not tanks. So, one thing that always drove me nuts was, say you have a piece of terrain like this, right? And you've got a couple of tanks here. Let's say you've got 3 tanks, right? And they've got a target over here, right? And this guy's trying to do his thing. Maybe he's a little bit tougher tank than any of these, right? So you'll have one guy, he's sneaking over here to start shooting, and you have another guy, he just kind of whips out here and takes a shot and then knocks back this guy, and he doesn't get his shot, and it affects this guy over here. So instead of coordinating and taking turns, boom, shot, pull back, boom, shot, pull back, and basically rotating. I always called it rotating your guns, right? So not rotating like rotating the turret. I always considered you should rotate your guns in your crew. Even if you're not communicating, you don't have, like, if you don't platoon up, you should be able to see that this is a point where one guy takes a shot, boom, pulls back, you pull up, take a shot, boom, and then the next guy, boom. And then this guy's reloaded and ready to go, boom, 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 and pull back. Everybody gets in each other's way. I want to get in here and take the shot, and you're blocking off this guy. Well, that's no good because then you're going to pull back. He's not going to be ready, and he's going to get shot from this guy, and this is maybe something that can really do some damage. So, instead of rotating the shots, rotating your gun work, having a phased gun line where you're all taking cover, but you go boom, 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 and and that can even work as a rope a dope. This guy gets curious, he gets frustrated, he's going to come around the corner, and then you can just kind of keep bringing him in. But nobody does that. Yeah, the pushed and the pusher. Yeah, exactly. So, and we've all done it, back into somebody and been in the line of fire, but there are some things that it should be like, okay, we're all in here in the same space together. Um, and that's just one of those things that I don't see really highly experienced players doing. I see them a lot of times they'll platoon up. That's always a good idea. So, but yeah, I mean, we've all been in that situation, and it's frustrating because your people are thinking like gamers, and they're not thinking tactically. They're thinking, I want to get the kill, I want to get the kill, I want to get the experience, I want to get the shot. But the problem with that is you wind up hosing your teammates, and you might wind up dying, and they might wind up dying because you might be the linchpin in that particular map, in that particular scenario. So, what happens? Well, everybody gets mad and upset, and it's just, then they go, "Oh, you're a bad player." You might not be a bad player, you just got carried away. But teamwork, it's so cliche. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? And a game like that, you got to be willing to maybe take the hit to get the shot, and or to maybe have a help somebody else get a chance to shine. They don't really spend a lot of time encouraging assists. There is an experience level for assists. I think there is there is an award that you can get for assists, but it's not the kind of it's slightly different than it's like assisting a kill, but it's not necessarily assisting good gameplay. So it does have its limitations as far as what the game encourages players to do and behaviors in the game itself. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that it is a thing. Um, and it really does help if you can platoon up with another couple of players. But I've been in platoons where they invite you to platoon, but then they don't have comms. They don't have a microphone or headphones. So it's like you can't really coordinate if you can't communicate, you can't coordinate. So it's kind of a I mean, it's nice that somebody invites you to the platoon, but then you can't communicate. They don't have any way to communicate. So why did you why did you invite me to platoon? Yeah, and it gets more aggressive as you get higher up on the tech tree. Yeah. Well, and that's understandable cuz that's people have invested time and effort to get those higher levels, unless they've just spent a lot of money. You can and that's it's understandable. Aggressive play. I mean, you want to win. Everybody wants to win. No doubt. Um, but sometimes they do it at the cost of everybody else's having fun, which is unfortunate. So I'm doing the base now. As you can see, I'm going with white now. I've worked it up to kind of a blue white, trying to get that icy blue going on there. And I'm going to use another product and mix a couple of more other products in. So, but before I do really go too much more on the base, I think I'm going to finish up the claws and the teeth and the eyes. So, and I go till 9 o'clock. I go till 11 o'clock p.m. tonight. So we got another hour to go. So we'll see how far we make it. We may not make it to the claws and teeth and eyes. We may just get this far on the base. Who knows? We'll see what transpires. And of course, this is my second to last stream of the year. So make sure that you have your notifications on if you want to join me again in the new year. Of course, New Year's Eve is a Tuesday. I don't think I'll be streaming on New Year's Eve though. So it may be the week following the second week, be the second week of January that I start. Second full week, first full week, whatever it works out to be. Because I usually take a little break right here around the holidays because it gives me a little time to recoup and fall back. I need to reorganize my hobby space here, as any as regular viewers will tell you, will attest to. It is time to renew and refresh. And I just need to have that time to do that. So 11 p.m. Central. No, Eastern time. I go till 11 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in Central time, that would be 10 o'clock your time is as late as I go. And then usually we raid out to another stream. Just say hello and help build the community. That is one thing that YouTube does not have, unfortunately, and that is a mark against their streaming, using YouTube as a streaming platform. Without the raid function, it's hard to build a community. And by community, I mean an online group of people with similar interests. So that's the thing about Twitch, and even I think Rumble has raids now, so you can build that like-minded group of hobbyists. So whether or not I'll ever use Rumble, I don't know. It seems like it's got some growing pains yet. But I know a few people over there that stream. And much success to them. And they are actually having quite a bit of success, quite honestly. But they've curated their audience, and they've got the people that that come over there. If you're into alt tech, that's a good platform for someone to use. They do have raids, so that is better. In some ways, that's better than YouTube. YouTube needs raids to make their live stream, make live streaming more palatable. Because that's the one thing that Twitch has that I really enjoy is the raids, because you get to see other people and what they're doing and support other hobbyists. I think that's probably something that would, I mean, if YouTube put a raid function in, they could probably eat Twitch's lunch. Now there's a lot of doomsayers around Twitch right now, and adpocalypse, and there's I don't know, some political punditry people made some big stink about something and it caused some big kerfuffle. I don't know. I really don't care about all that stuff. I mean, if they turn the lights off on Twitch, I'll just move to another platform, right? I mean, big deal. It takes a lot of work to get people to watch and to build a viewer base, but um, you know, it is what it is, right? YouTube wanted to be Twitch, but I haven't seen them do much to improve that recently to beat Twitch. Right, exactly, and that's what I'm saying is they could do so much, um, but they don't. So, I've got it. I've mostly got the YouTube going, multi streaming, just to have it going. It's out there. It also is a place to save my VODs since Twitch, I'm affiliate, not a partner. Partners get to save their VODs like some of them it's like 30 days, others are like indefinite, I think. But my VODs only last 14 days on on Twitch. So the VODs that I have on YouTube, I could actually go through and make, I could split them up and edit some things, where I'm doing various things and like, I mean, it's a thing. You could. There's a lot of things you can do um, with those VODs. Um, or if I wanted to just turn certain parts into shorts, and do like a little narration over top of it, or say, okay, this is how I do this, or this is how I do that. Whatever. I mean, there's lots of different things. Um, all right. So let's do the inside of his mouth. And let's use this Sigvald Burgundy. Because it's such a cold figure and I'm using a lot of cold colors, I want to go with some warmth. I want to warm it up a little bit. So we're going to try to use contrast paint here. It's a darker contrast paint, and we're just going to let it do its thing. And it's okay if I get it in places that I don't particularly want, because I can go back over it. No problem. So I guess it's kind of a cool purple. It's got some reds in it, so with the red in this purple, this burgundy, I think it will be a nice warm color. And then we can do some pinks, maybe a little bit of warm pink in there to do some highlights in the side of the mouth. So you want to get that warm and cold sort of thing going on. If you have a lot of dark colors like blues and greens and like those are called cool colors. Find a place where you can put a nice warm uh, little patch of something like in red or yellow or orange, something to give some contrast, something to really just give a little pop of color. It just always helps. It always helps the model look better with just a little bit of interest in it like that. Can you always do it? I don't know that you can always do it, but it does tend to help. And it's okay if I get a little bit on his teeth. Contrast paint doesn't have the same problem as the old speed paints do, in which they like to reactivate, so not too worried about that. And even if it does, I'm going to be going to go over it with a little bit of brown. I like to work the teeth up from browns to ivories. This guy is already looking good. Did I wet blend? Yes, I did wet blend. Yes. I actually wet blended around the base where I get that transition from the dark ice to the lighter ice, and then all of his coloration from the dark purple to the dark bluish purple to the mid purple to the grayish purple to the light bluish gray to the light white. Just about the whole thing has been wet blended. And here's the thing about wet blending. Wet blending sounds scary, but it really isn't. You're just taking two wet sections of paint, a lighter and a darker, and blending them and just letting them. Well, you're just letting them blend together. You're letting nature take its course, so to speak. If you look on my Instagram, you can see the dragon and the chimera that I did as the monthly monsters for October and November. And the wings are all wet blended. Actually, the September dragon. No. September, let's see, August was a blue dragon, and September was a cavern troll. So those are, but the wings were all wet blended because the wings have a lot of and there's actually some wet blending here on this base as well with this water that I did. So I laid down, paint on paint that was still wet and just kind of let it do its thing. So, hey Miar, how's it going? Hey Kristen Seeger, how you doing tonight? Good to see you back. Welcome back to the Pocket Dimension, here where we paint all the things. How's your Star Wars projects going? Hopefully you got you're getting them to where you want them to be. Getting some nice effects there. So all right. So we've got the Sigvald Burgundy right there inside the mouth. So we need to do something about this guy's eyes. Eyes. What color? Because, again, you know what color would be good? The Death Star looks better. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear the Death Star looks better. Yeah, I think if you have it kind of rough going around the outside there, and then you have a really sharp, clean, crisp gray right on that dish, I think you're going to be happy with that. I hope you get the results you want. So I think what I'm going to do is, because there's a lot of more towards the blue side of things, let's paint his eyes in orange. But that makes me feel good that you're getting to where you want the Death Star to be. So hopefully that is will bring you much happiness, and will bring the people that you are making those for happy as well. There is much happiness in giving. So goes an old saying. I like to give things to people as well. I don't necessarily like to be told that I have to do it around a certain time of year. I do like anniversaries, though, And what great thing about anniversaries is anniversary presents. So, remember, next month marks my 3-year anniversary, my 3-year stream anniversary, and as usual, I will have plenty of gifts to give out during my 3-year stream anniversary. So some things come from games that you may not play, but you don't have to play a game in order to paint the minis that go with that game. So one of the things I'm going to be giving away during the stream anniversary, I'm going to do a little hype building here. So this is from the board game The Thing. It's the Norwegian Outpost miniatures, guys, people. And so here are all the minis in that box. So again, you don't necessarily have to play this game to paint the miniatures. These would work great in a modern Arctic adventure game, whatever you want to do, or paint them up. It looks like they'd be really fun to paint. So that's something that's going to be going out. Also, I have an Army Painter Project paint station here. I can't get it under the close cam. This is the only camera that's working right now. So there's that. It holds 30 war paints, 6 brushes, and a water cup. So that's another thing that's going to be given away. And I can't show everything. I'm just giving a little taste. If I tell you all what everything is going to be, that won't be any good. So put the update in the pit. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's take a look. I'm excited to see that. Let's see what is in the pit. Kristen Seeger says she has put an update on her Star Wars project in the pit. Let's take a look. It's going to be great. I know it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is looking terrific. Oh, yeah. Yep, looking great. Looking really great. Yep. You might try some blue-gray in that in the dish even, and maybe just do like little squares like coming out. So if you look at the model, there's different color grays radiating out. So you could take a little block here, like right in here maybe. Let's see. Let's do this again, because I'm technologically inept. Let's take this down a little bit. Oh, here we go. So what you might do is here on the dish, I like what you've done here, and you've got these nice highlights going on. What you might do is just take and draw in, take like a blue-gray, and just draw in a few panels here and there, and kind of radiate it out from the center. So maybe a little panel here, maybe a little panel here, maybe something over here, you know. And they don't even have to go all the way out. They could stop, or you could come up and then maybe just take a chunk out of one side a little bit. So that's something you could try. And if you don't like it, you can always go back over it. It's just paint. As long as you're working in thin enough coats, you can always go back over it. Maybe that's not a good suggestion. I mean, these are suggestions. You don't have to do a thing I say, Kristen. But your work is looking absolutely wonderful. I like how you've cleaned up. I like how you've cleaned up all of these panels around here, but you've still got a lot of character in them, with everything not being super clean. Which is, I mean, Star Wars is a dirty sci-fi. Well, science fantasy. It's very dirty. So everything has that lived-in look. So, but I really like how you've brought like a hot spot. There's definitely a highlight right here. I love that. That looks really great. And then you kind of played in towards the shadow Here it's still looking a little scratchy down here, and I like that. That looks really good. So nice job. So you might like, you might just like to do some blocking in there, like just radiate it out, not all the way, just a little bit here and a little bit there. Come on, notifications. Sometimes people use the dirty words in notifications from other channels. I don't know why I'm following. Um, yeah, so very cool. Looking great. That you should be proud of that. So, but those are ideas. You don't have to do them. Those are but it looks terrific. If you wanted to just if you wanted to add more detail, you've got some really good things going on there. But that's just one thing if you wanted to add. So, but yeah, keep up the good work. Very nice. All right, let's see. Where are we here? All right, so we're going to use some Necromancer Cloak Gray, dark gray here. Oh, you're welcome, Kristen. We try to be positive here. In fact, this channel is exactly for people like you that want to improve their skills, have questions. Now, I'm not a greatest painter in the world by any means. I'm pretty mediocre as it is. I enjoy what I do, and I want other people to enjoy what they do. And sometimes people get frustrated. They want it to be perfect. Don't worry about perfect. Just worry about working through the process. There is no such thing as perfect. There is satisfactory. Are you happy with what you've done? That is the whole that's kind of the whole thing you need to really be that's where you need to be concerned with what you're doing. Is are you happy with what you've done? Did this piece make you happy? Did you have issues? Are there questions? How did you improve over working on this piece? That's another thing. How did you improve? What does this tell you about your next piece? And here's the other thing is a lot of times, folks, is that you will find, and I know I find this myself, you may find this also, that you wind up improving in the middle of a project. Maybe you just put a stroke where you didn't expect to put a stroke, or your paint maybe just a little too thin, or you do something a slightly different way, and it winds up absolutely working out for you in the most unexpected way, and you say, hey, that is a new way that is something new I can add to my arsenal. That is something new I can try. I've never done that before. I think that's really worked out for me. I just didn't know it could be done. Oh, that's what that is, Wet blending. Wet blending is something that somebody probably just stumbled on one day. Well, let's be frank. It was probably an art student that brought it in. No, that's not nice to art students. Why do we want to be mean to art students? But there are a lot of people that have brought miniatures painting to more of an art form, which is really great. I don't know where those cat hairs are coming from. It's almost like the beast was in here a little earlier. So we're going to go with orange there. Yeah, really good work there, Kristen. Let's just do a little coloration around these eyes here. Let's get a little purple. A little dark purple. Do a little dark purple around the eyes. But as you paint, you will see that you'll see how you enjoy things, and you'll have your own process, or you'll learn other people's process and incorporate that into your own way of doing things. Everybody has a different approach, and there are a lot of people you can learn from. One thing I do like about monster miniatures is that they generally have really big eyes, so it's easy to work them, work on them. So one thing I do enjoy about monsters is there's really no wrong way to paint a monster, if you know what I mean. Oh, have you seen one of these? I've never seen one of these. And of course, this is a salamander, or supposedly a salamander, a frost salamander. I've never seen one. Have you? So there's really no right way to paint it, right? Who's going to tell me I'm wrong? I don't have it set up to stream, so no time soon. Oh, okay. There you go. So when are you going to start streaming? Yeah, that's okay. Well, not everybody has to stream their work. You know, that is not why we're here on Twitch. Some people like to stream, some people like to support their streamers, engage with the community. I love it when I see people come in. I love it when people come back and visit. And I really love it when I can be helpful and encouraging. That's what this channel is all about, is being helpful and encouraging. We don't do the drama here. Leave the leave the current events for other people to deal with. There's a lot of opinions out there, and they just get in the way of everybody having fun, because everybody starts picking sides and calling each other nasty names. So that we don't do here. We're just here to paint, and that's all there is to it. We don't need no drama. We just need a steady hand and a clean brush. We don't do the social commentary here. We celebrate people's achievements. A warm and inviting place in the chaos of the craziness that seems to be a little bit too rampant online these days. Yep. So let's do a little bit of gray into this purple here and maybe do a couple little highlights. Even though we wet blended the ever living daylights out of this fellow, let's go ahead and throw a couple little highlights on here just to give them a little more definition. Of course, they're not going to be wet blended highlights by any means, but they are going to be highlights. And I think that will probably give them just a little more interest in the face. And that's something that a lot of people forget, I think, or something that is hard to keep in mind. Let's just say that. If you can give your faces a little bit more attention on a miniature, it goes miles and miles and miles ahead of others, because faces, we are humans and we like to look at faces. It's just a natural thing. So if you, even on a monsters have faces. Sometimes they don't have noses. You can always tell what a monster is because they won't have a nose, right? That was in a cartoon one time. How did you know it was a monster? Because he didn't have a nose. I don't remember what cartoon it was, though. But if you can give a little extra contrast, a little more brightness to the face, that is never a bad thing. Faces is where it's at. So, I don't know if I did that right or not, but I mean, I've never seen one of these critters, and I really hope I never do. Let's see. Let's see. Blizzard dice. It's okay, Miar. You're allowed to be late. I guess both could do better. Twitch also seems a lot more temporary. If your favorite people aren't streaming, most of their content is gone unavailable. Yes, that's why I stream also to YouTube. Let's see. Yes, I did wet blend Miar. Let's see. Been on both ends of scenario. Let's see. Where are we here? Let's see. Come on. Let's see. Wizkids. Let's see. On the X-Wing today, but I got new glasses, so it didn't go to a... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kristen. Understandable about glasses. Well, I actually use... I use a visor, and there's another set of... lenses that this has as well. I wear glasses, too. But the visors really help, and there is another set of lenses for this somewhere, but I I started needing this after I turned 40, which was 10 years ago. Actually, around 45, I guess, is when I really started needing it. Um, so, but I'm gonna try to give away a set of a visor on my streamiversary stream. So definitely tune in. I mean, they make you look dorky, but I mean, we're nerds. We're used to that, right? Um, but hopefully your eyes will adjust to your new glasses, and you'll be on that X-wing soon. Miara was telling me, and I've been trying to read this. Let's see. Wizkids has a sale on a bundle with 2 large, 6 medium, and 5 smalls for 50. Yeah, um, they've actually got they've actually got that quite a bit. I think each quarter they come out with a bundle like that. So yeah, WizKids. I mean, for being cheap figures, you can do a nice. You can definitely do a nice job. Oh, there's a mistake there. I don't know what that is. We'll just clean that up though. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was just paint that got out of hand or what exactly. Don't know what that was all about. I don't know if I scuffed that somehow or what. Maybe that was some bad maybe that's bad primer. But I do like the WizKids figures because they are primed. They come primed already, which it's a little thicker than most people would necessarily use. We'll just call that a battle scar. We'll just say he's got a battle scar there. So you can tell stories with your paint. Even if you find something like that that's an imperfection, you know, it's like the old Calvin and Hobbes cartoon where he was building a model airplane and he got frustrated, so he smashed it with a hammer, and Hobbes comes in and says, "What happened to your model?" And Calvin goes, "Anti-aircraft guns," and Hobbes goes, "Well, that seems to happen to a lot of your model planes." So yeah, I think they do that every time. So each quarter they bring out a bundle of figures, and I think I've seen that before, Miar. So I don't know that it's that um, that rare, but it is definitely something to keep in mind. So folks, if you want cheap miniatures, head over to wizkids.com and check it out. Ah, yes, they made me feel drunk all day. I haven't even tried taking them off and using the magnifier headband I got from my grandma. Oh, good. So you've got a magnifying headband. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, it can be difficult to get used to a new prescription, that's for sure. That is definitely for sure. All right, so let's do something interesting with these uh, orange eyes. Let's use a little bit of Ariel yellow. Yeah, I when I got these glasses that I'm wearing right now, I was seeing double. And the bad thing is, I got them on a Friday, and I was seeing double with them, so I didn't wear them for most of that weekend. Then I had to go to work Monday, and I needed to drive all the way out to Maryland. So I had I I was seeing double. It was really bad. I made it. And eventually, by the time I got there, my eyes had adjusted to the new prescription finally. But it took a while. So this Uriel Yellow, I need to, uh, I need to do some maintenance on. So we're gonna take this Uriel Yellow, and we're gonna give him some irises here, some yellow irises. That's getting a little out of hand there. So I'm going to mop some of that yellow right away. Take that away just a little bit. And then clean it up just a smidge. So I should probably let that dry before I go to clean that up, but add just a little bit more of that Uriel Yellow. All right, good, I didn't catch that. But hopefully you can get your eyes used to your new glasses there soon. And yeah. Let's see. Let's get a little bit more of this. Oh, that's Volpros pink. Let's get a little bit of this Sigvald burgundy back out here. I saw a place that I missed in his mouth. So let's go ahead and we'll address that. Right here. Set this over here so I don't spill it, because we all know the best thing to do is spill your contrast paint or especially Nuln Oil and Agrax Earthshade. How many Instagram posts do we see of people spilling their liquid tones here? Let's try not to do that here. Probably for me, one of the worst things for whenever I have a new prescription is I always wind up getting headaches just before I get a new prescription, and sometimes I'll get headaches just after it. So it's kind of a thing. Cool. just a little water right here, and we'll just make a little glaze. Try to blend that back in just a little bit. Of course, I used a lot of dark blue right here at the top. So, dark blue purple mix, purple, purple and gray, like so. It's just a wet blend, you know, counter shading like you would see in nature, dark to the top, um, lighter towards the bottom. So yeah, that's the whole point of that. So here's my thought. So I want to do his claws in dark gray, middle gray, light gray. And I was thinking about maybe doing his teeth in the same scheme. But I don't know. Would it work? Usually teeth are sort of brighter color, and they're more menacing the brighter they are, you know. So claws, you know, they could be darker. But I think teeth really just need to be bright. So, like if you look at a cat's teeth, they're white, and there's claws, they're kind of clear, but they sort of dogs claws. Dogs claws are dark. If you ever notice dogs claws, the claws on a dog, their toenails tend to be dark, but their teeth are white. So I don't know really what salamanders actually have. Do they have teeth or do they have a rasp? Some amphibians don't have really teeth per se. But this has got 6 legs, so I don't know that it necessarily needs to follow the rules. Have you seen a frost salamander? I've not seen a frost salamander. This is the first one I've ever seen. So, all right. Let's carry on with the eyes, though. Oh, yeah, all the time. Well, Miars, you'll have to tell me how bad I'm doing. Miar sees frost salamanders all the time, evidently. So, got one in the freezer. Oh, well, that's its favorite place. All right, so we're going to take some black and we're going to do the pupils because, like I said, one of my favorite parts on monsters is the eyes because they're so big. Now I could go with a vertical slit like a snake, but since it's an amphibian, well, let's see. Frogs have sort of a weird pupil. But I think salamanders actually have a round pupil. So we're going to go with a round pupil. Mostly round. Lets in a lot of light. There we go. Really, if I were really good, I would have actually put this down a little lower. So it looks like he's looking down in this area. But live and learn. On the other hand, maybe he's fighting something really big too. You know, that's the thing about these monster figures. They don't necessarily have to be used as monsters against like your human-sized heroes. They could be used. You could actually do like a kaiju battle with them too. So that'd be pretty cool. So maybe there's something over here. Hold on just a second. He set up a nice couch and lit for his book study right behind the bacon. Oh, well, I hope you're charging him rent, Miar. So here's an idea. Let me step away from here for just a second. I want to grab something out of the display case. And I just knocked every. Oh. Let me grab something real quick. So. All right, so this one's mine right here. This dude here is mine. Giant ape. So maybe it could be like this. Dun 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 dun. That'd be pretty cool. So I could paint that up. Well, this one's mine, so he's gonna get normally like a King Kong, like actual. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But this one's gonna be mine. I might get another one, and if I get another one of these, I'll paint him up for a monthly monster. But that one's mine. Oh, I'm knocking things all over here. So I'm gonna put this back in the display cabinet here. You could even have a kaiju fighting league, right? So here's a hippopotamus man from Reaper that I did. Now there's all sorts of mold lines on it and all, but I used this to demonstrate dry brushing to a paint and take that I did a while back. So he was a demonstrator. So you could do that too. You could just have a lot of fun with a kaiju fight club, right? So that'd be pretty nifty. Well, let's see. Instead of going back out to the hallway, I'll just put them up there on the shelf for just a moment. So that'd be pretty neat. All right. So, but that's a thought, you know. All right. Let's go here. We got some yellowed bone. Yellowed bone. We got a little bit of oak brown. Nope, dark stone. Oak brown. Here we go. Here's some oak brown and some yellowed bone and some white, and we're going to do up his teeth. We're going to spend almost as much time on his teeth as the dentist spent on my teeth last Friday. Still a little painful. So we got 15 minutes to go here, so that's about right. So a little oak brown, and we'll do his teeth up. But yeah, that's kind of fun. The idea of doing a kaiju game like that. Kaiju Fight Club. You could even here's the other cool thing. So you could even team them up and have kaiju teams, like battle, like, what if you had gangs of kaiju? That'd be pretty cool. Which I guess that's kind of like what Monster Apocalypse was like. Unfortunately, I never got into that game. Just when I was about to, uh, Privateer Press got bought out by Steamforged, which is fine. Those things happen. No. I don't have any salty feelings about that by any means. And even if I did, what could I do about it, right? But I was really hoping to get into Monster Apocalypse. Because I pretty well have a really good collection of War Machine, and I picked up some stuff for Warcaster Mechanica on discount, deep discount here a while back. And I've got some of the Riot, is it Riot Quest? Their third War Machine compatible game. So I picked up pretty much everything I wanted from those lines. And if I missed anything, I don't know about it. And if I don't know about it, well, I'm not missing out on it, am I? So, but I guess that's kind of what Monster Apocalypse was about, was teams of kaiju, so you could have like a not Godzilla fighting alongside. They had factions, so you could actually work with them. So you had the Defenders, and you had the Cthulhu guys, the Gribbly sort of eldritch horrors. You had the monsters that were based on Mayan concepts. Like you had Kamisats, which was a big bat monster. Super tired, and my sick wife has not let you sleep. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, one, I'm sorry that you're not getting any rest there, Miar. And I'm sorry to hear that your wife is not feeling well. Give her my best, please. Hope she gets to feeling well soon. And I hope you're able to get a little rest tonight. Hope you have it better tomorrow. So I will bid you a good night, sir. Thank you for stopping in, even though I know you're tired. So thank you for being here, Myar, as usual. Appreciate you. So we got about 10 minutes left in the program here, so we're just finishing up these teeth. Getting a good brown base on them. And I probably can go back and get some of the places where I missed some of the gums there. Because I'm sure he probably brushes pretty regularly. Yes, I will have a good night. Thank you, Myar. I appreciate that. I got to do some post wisdom teeth wound care stuff, so it takes a little time to get ready for bed. You know, I can't just quick brush and quick floss and in the sack I go. You know, it's a little more process. It will be for the next 3 weeks, evidently, according to the directions I have to follow. So, but I hope you have a good evening, and I hope you have a pleasant tomorrow. So, as usual. So definitely give my best to your wife. I'm sorry to hear that she's not feeling well. All right. So we've got the teeth all undercoated pretty well in a dark brown, so that's good. And 5 minutes to go here till the end of the stream. So don't know that I want to get going on his claws tonight. I can finish up his claws on the next stream, which the next stream is at 7 o'clock on Thursday evening, Eastern Time. 7 o'clock Thursday evening. And we'll finish up this bad boy and draw for a winner from our subscribers. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can actually use your Amazon Prime to subscribe to the channel on a month by month basis. And I don't care if you use your Amazon Prime account to subscribe for free or whether or not you decide to throw a couple of bucks in the kitty and have a direct subscription. Either one. But either way, you get a shot at winning one of these finely painted beasties, a monthly monster. So we'll finish this guy up on Thursday night. Probably won't take too long. Probably the base will probably take longer than the claws and the teeth to finish up. So we'll be doing that on Thursday. So come on back to the Pocket Dimension on Thursday night at 7 o'clock from 7 to 11. work permitting, as long as I don't get stuck with some big awful thing that I have to get done that takes forever, or sometimes I get sent out on short notice to far off distant lands. And that's always kind of frustrating because I miss being here painting on my desk, and also miss being here with those of you who decide to tune in. Whether you're longtime viewers or uh, new people and new hobbyists that want to come in and spend some time painting all the things. So, like I usually say, no matter how bad today was, the sun is coming up tomorrow, and the world is a better place with you in it. Today is history. Tomorrow has not been written yet. So let's go ahead and we will say goodnight to YouTube. Good night, YouTube. And we'll go over here.